Do it. You scrolled on this video to do it.
It's your boy Daddy Scuba Juve.
Alright, so we back with another big body banger, you feel me? Today we have yet another Reddit stories time, you know what I'm saying? This one isn't a Reddit stories, actually. This is a Reddit post about conspiracy theories that are actually true. Now me, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist person myself. I believe there's truth in everything, almost everything. I'm the type of person that believes like all these artists is part of these eating kids and all this. Yeah, I'm with all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk about it on here because y'all gonna think I'm weird and all that. But I'm with all that. I know that what be going on with you celebrities and all that, you politicians and you presidents. I know what be going on with you big dogs. I know what it is. I'm not gonna say it on here because you know what you did, and the people that know, they know. But I don't want to scare the little kids that's watching this video. But I said all that to say I'm with the conspiracy theories. They're not even conspiracy theories. They're just facts that haven't been released yet. That's what they is. So today we're going to be watching some conspiracy theories that are true. I'm going to tell y'all if they true or not because I know what's really going on in the world and stuff like that. So I'm going to break it down for y'all. So if y'all excited for this video, smash the like button. Let me know. Do y'all believe in conspiracy theories or y'all think they all foolishness and stupidness? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. But before we hop into the video, Joy.com, you can buy 2 and 3rd free button up to $50. And without further ado, let's do what it do. You know what I'm saying?
r/ask Reddit, what conspiracy theory are you certain is true? Why? I am 100% convinced my barber is cutting my hair longer and longer each time. The city tore up the road in front of his shop months and months ago and are taking their sweet time fixing it. I'm convinced he keeps cutting my hair longer since then because this means I need more haircuts more frequently and this makes up for the lost business from the road being torn up. You know it's time to bring it up with him when he starts putting hair extensions in. See also.
Wait, I don't get it. 100% convinced my barber's cutting my hair longer and longer each time. The city tore up the road in front. Oh, it's cutting his hair longer. Oh, I thought he meant like he was taking a long time cutting it. He was cutting his hair longer so he would have to come get a haircut more frequently. Oh, I get it.
GTA San Andreas. The UFO conspiracy is a government conspiracy. Project Blue Book was a real program in which the US government purposely made UFO sightings appear to be a government cover-up. In actuality, the UFO sightings were of the B-2 bomber, F-117 and other experimental aircraft. The military used the UFO sightings to cover up the development of these aircraft. I believe this program never stopped and the government loves the idea of UFO and alien conspiracy because it makes the government appear more powerful while simultaneously misdirecting the public. Edit. For clarification, he definitely misspoke when referring to the B-2 and Project Blue Book. It would have been the SR-71 that was being covered up. UFO reports were indeed made when the B-2 was being tested at Area 51. The military didn't actively perpetuate those sightings the same way they did with the Blue Book. Just let them continue. Also, a lot of people are recounting their personal sightings of UFOs that defy physics, etc. While some of these I would maintain could still be military aircraft, by no means am I saying all UFOs are explainable. I'm talking specifically about the idea that the government has found, made contact with aliens and reversed engineered their spacecraft. I would wager that the governments of the world have marginally more knowledge regarding true UFOs than the average citizen.
I think UFOs are real and the government is stupid.
This is also what I believe. In addition, they know a certain segment of the population will hunt out conspiracy theories. The government actively engage these people with exciting, fantastic and sexy stories of alien space wars, alien-human hybrids living among us, and secret space programs.
I actually don't think aliens are real. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, I don't think they're real.
These keeps the conspiracy types occupied and out of their hair for real secret programs, which are not fantastical in any way. I remember reading a story, or watching a docu somewhere about this. There was a guy who asserted he had observed UFOs somewhere in the US Southwest. He let someone know, and one day the government showed up, asked him all about it. He told them everything he knew. They confirmed everything he said. He was in fact communicating with aliens and whatnot, and should keep studying them and reporting his findings to them. The truth, the government had been testing helicopters in the night. These are the lights he'd seen and radio signals he heard. They wanted to delegitimize him, make him look crazy. It worked. No one ever believed him after this. This works for many reasons and is a clever tactic. Game 2 of the 2009 NBA Finals. Paul Pierce pooped his pants and covered it up by faking a knee injury. There's no way he hurt his knee so bad that he needed to be carried off the court, only to run back on the court minutes later and play like nothing happened. That and there was a noticeable brown spot on his pants before he went down. Edit. This was game 1 of the 2008 finals. I beefed up, I'm sorry. He still very well may have pooped himself at some point in 2009. We just have no evidence.
That is a factual conspiracy theorist. He definitely did poop his pants because he's known for doing that.
The way he was carried off is exactly how I would carry someone who pooped their pants. Two people grab a leg and let the poo pool down in his shorts. Don't want that stuff coming down a leg hole. How did this theory first come about? The US Postal Service is using algorithms to estimate the tracking of packages instead of reliably scanning the packages that have tracking delivery confirmation. Why? Because in the past 3 months I've had packages arrive in my mailbox a week.
This is facts. This is literally facts. I send out Jew rags and people DM me all the time talking about it says delivered, but I didn't receive my Jew rags. And then it comes to them 2 days later. I'm telling USPS is a hoe and they do this foolishness. I'm telling you that's what they is.
After they said they were delivered. As a seller, I've had customers' packages with delivery confirmation show as delivered that didn't arrive until days later. This absolutely sucks for consumers who don't get their package but have no course of action because the PO says it has been delivered. This happened to me and I was told by an Amazon employee that sometimes the delivery drivers will mark the package as delivered so as not to screw up their route. As somebody who does Amazon Flex a bit, they recently updated the app to fix this. Now if you select a package out of order in the route, it will actually go to the next package after that and continue the route, rather than constantly suggesting you try delivering the first one. For example, if you had 5 packages and had an issue with 2, so you selected 3 as the next delivery. Previously once 3 was delivered it would have then routed you to 2. Now it routes you to 4. Of course. What you're supposed to do when you have an issue with 2 is report that issue through the app. There's a structure for this shit. But because we're all just random idiots doing it through an app, there's not much quality control on who's delivering your packages. No interview process or resume submission.
That's Amazon. That's not USPS. USPS is real people.
Or anything. Just a background check to make sure you've never driven drunk or something. I believe Trader Joe's purposely build their parking lots too small so it looks like they're busier than they actually are. Today I learned that Trader Joe's tiny parking lot isn't just a thing where I live. I have lived in multiple states, from the West Coast, Midwestern to New England, and traveled all across the country. I firmly believe Trader Joe selects their real estate based on shitty parking situations. Edit, thank you for this list of large TJ's parking lots. Since I am moving again soon, I will take this information under consideration when deciding where we go next.
This is facts, just due to the fact that, well, I don't know if this is facts. I went to Trader Joe's the other day and it was packed. Like inside was packed. I don't know if the parking lot was packed, but I don't know if this conspiracy theory is fact. So I don't know.
Portsmouth, NH Danbury, CT half of New Jersey, Virginia Beach, VA Westchester, CA Indio, CA Pasadena, CA Santa Cruz, CA. Reddit is just me and 8 million really cleverly written bots pretending to be people. Plot twist. 8 million Redditors cleverly wrote a bot to believe it's a human. And it's you. Calm down, Blade Runner. The moon landing. The moon never landed anywhere.
This one right here. This one right. Nobody landed on the moon. 100%. No, I already know nobody landed on the moon. This is such fakeness. Such crap.
In the sky. Just look outside. No, it's just a super thin metal disc held in rotation by satellites. In Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk, the line Uptown Funk you up, Uptown Funk you up, they actually say duck a few times. Okay, so this one time I was at a farmer's market and there was this kid, definitely under 10 years old, playing an electric guitar and singing, which was pretty adorable. But then when he started on Uptown Funk he was definitely saying duck. Not intentionally, just how it came out. There was probably a crowd of about 50 people trying not to laugh so as to not make the kid feel embarrassed about performing. But it was one of the funniest things ever. Even the kid's parents were barely holding it together. My son does it the reverse way. I'm too hot. Hot day. It still makes sense. Big Mason Jar founded Pinterest to boost sales. They've got their fingerprints all over Etsy too. That Hitler didn't die in that bunker. The bodies found were burned. Well burned. Beyond recognition. Also, the source that everyone cites for this evidence was pretty iffy. Also, turned out the Soviet Union had the bodies for many years. Once they tested DNA, it belonged to a woman. Dental records didn't match. He is obviously dead now. But once you read about Hitler's death you come to find there isn't any real evidence the bastard died. Even Stalin believed Hitler escaped. Everyone knows that Hitler was murdered in a cinema in France. Gorlo me.
I haven't kept up with like Hitler stuff, so I don't know if that one's factual or not, but it seems like something that would be factual. He was still alive. They didn't kill him.
Turkish coup was an orchestrated attempt at a power grab by Erdogan. Think about it. The military tries to take over the state. While that's going on, 2 jet fighters of the military fly next to Erdogan's plane, but refuse to engage and flew away. Immediately after the coup, Erdogan begins a mass purge of all opposing forces and parties and does multiple government power grabs. My friend said the same thing. that the coup was a false flag. Tanks and armed officers surrendered to police squad cars, and right after, Erdogan uses the incident to seize up more power and claims that there would be consequences of such an incident, all of which easily necessitated his measures of preventing subversion of his control by tightening up his authoritarian powers and preventing other Turkish politicians getting elected to the presidency. Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened and nobody questions it now. I never even knew it was a conspiracy theory, I thought it was fact.
I don't even know what that is.
B. Cooper. The whole flight crew was in on the scam. Nobody jumped out of the plane. He hid somewhere the authorities wouldn't have checked and then strolled out with the money wearing an outfit he had under his clothes. D. B. Cooper took the money and went on to live under the alias Tommy Wiseau. I'm partial to the theory that Ron Paul is D. B. Cooper. The age-adjusted sketch that the FBI released in 2008 looks a lot like Paul, and pictures of Paul from the mid-70s look a lot like the original sketch. Paul's height, 5 feet 11, also matches Cooper's description. In addition, Paul first ran for office in 1974, the year after the hijacking, which would fit if the hijacking was a way of raising money to go into politics. I believe
I don't know what none of that is, but that's facts. It's facts.
the rich are pitting people against each other to drastically take attention away from how they make the rules and run the show. Hard for a white man and black man to come together and fight a common enemy such as the wealthy when their media stations make you hate each other over skin color or other non-important issues for the country. This is exactly what's happening the world over.
That is facts.
I'd agree with this one. Back in 2010 during the Occupy movement, the media shit a brick. Every story was either discrediting the whole movement or yelling at people that they have to do everything possible avoid class warfare and it won't solve anything. Now, instead of being angry at the rich, poor people are at each other's throats. Racial tensions are higher than they've been in decades. But you don't hear the media say a peep about avoiding a race war, because they don't care. It's far easier to get away with screwing people over if they're only paying attention to the other people getting screwed rather than the ones doing the screwing. Trump's campaign started off as a joke, but as he gained popularity he realized he could act.
I said this one for the longest freaking time. Trump did not even want to win. He didn't even think he would win. It started off as a joke. I'm telling you right now, he never thought he would win. He never wanted to win. It just so happened that he did.
Actually win. Not a joke as much as a way to get attention. He's been running in every election for a while. He just never made any progress. Basically a voter-funded book tour. He always had a new book to sell when election season would get going. When Pope Francis had just started there were some rumors that he would dress as a normal priest at night and volunteer at soup kitchens and whatnot incognito. I like the thought of the Pope getting just a tiny bit too stress adjusting to his new job. I came here expecting to find depressing things that I refuse to believe. Thanks for proving me wrong. Although the Vatican officially denied the allegation, it wouldn't shock me if they did so more for practical security matters than for the purpose of conveying the truth. The claim has never been properly verified, but I personally consider this less of a conspiracy and more of a fun secret. It just seems so appropriate given his public persona, especially when the adoration was overflowing right after his installation. Open bracket. Side note, I'm not sure if installation is the right word. What do you call it when they declare a new pope? Pontification, edit, pontificating or election were what I was looking for. Thanks for the help. Vladimir Putin planned the Moscow apartment bombings as an excuse to start the Second Chechen War, which facilitated his rise to power. I mean, they found FSB people near buildings where actual bombs were found in bags, and they said it was a training exercise. Is this still a theory? I honestly thought it was documented fact.
It is.
Beyonce was not born in 1981. She was born in 1979 and she will be turning 38 not 36 this September.
What the heck does got to do with anything? Who cares when Beyonce was born?
Dad has been on radio shows and mentioned that Beyonce was the same age as Pink, who was born in 1979. Pretending you are 2 years younger seems like a very petty thing to lie about, but in a strange way I could see it may have been beneficial to her early Destiny's Child days to portray her as the teen singer who's the face of a girl group, a common trope in the late 90s. Pretending you are 2 years younger seems like a very petty thing to lie about. I did when I was at university for stupid insecure reasons. I was basically 2 years older than everyone else. All these home ancestry DNA tests that popped up out of nowhere have me suspicious. Edit. 2 words second edit. Sorry, I should actually state my theory. I feel like these suddenly became popular as a way to collect a massive database of DNA. I really wanted to do one of these tests, but the fact that your DNA data is only kept online, you're not given the data as physical media, doesn't sit right with me. We already have the NSA collecting photos. It's
the DNA test, like the ancestry and all that, is them collecting DNA so they can start cloning people. And this is a fact. This is not a conspiracy. This is a literal fact. And I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, but just know 10 years from now, you're going to start seeing clones. And they go, where did they get their science from and their data from? The people that wanted to see who their great grandmother was. The people who wanted to see if they use Mexican, Spanish, if white, Caucasian, you know what I'm saying, black, African, whatever the heck it is. I just kept saying the same things twice. I said white and Caucasian, black and African, and Mexican and Spanish. Bro, what is wrong with me, bro?
Etc. While I'm not going to dismiss the creepy aspects that having people's DNA in databases entails, it's mostly because DNA sequencing technology has gone leaps and bounds the past decade thanks to next-gen sequencing. It became a fraction of the price and takes a fraction of the time, and someone said, hey, we can so market this. Undergrad bio majors often do their own DNA tests in class. It's that easy. Edit. This comment actually makes me think of one of the Artemis Fowl books. Open bracket. Villain replaces herself in prison with a clone because they use DNA as it in that world.
Telling you.
Somehow Pokemon Go knows when I'm smoking weed because every time I smoke and open it, a coughing pops up. It's happened around 8+ times that I can remember. And coughings are not a Pokemon that's common around me. Edit. I wanted to test out my conspiracy. It's 9+ times now. We're through the looking glass here, people. R/a boring dystopia. The Denver International Airport is a hub for the Illuminati. Have you seen it? It's a hub for something creepy, that's for sure. Yep, weird stuff. How it went way over budget by millions, but actually cut corners during construction. The overhead view of the runway resembles a swastika.
The Denver International Airport is a hub for the Illuminati. What is that? I gotta search this up. Denver International Airport. Images. This is it? This little stupid thing? These tents? What is what's the Illuminati? Let me finish watching the video, bro.
Lots of construction deep underground without explanation. The long delays before it officially opened, while having an already perfectly functioning airport not far away. David Stern forced Jordan to leave the NBA. I
don't get it. I believe it though. I do believe it. If people think it, I believe it. Cause it's obviously they think it for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Because of gambling, and that is linked to his father's death. I believe this to be true as well. Jordan was a well-known gambler and there was no sense in tarnishing the image of him or the NBA, so his suspension was guised as a retirement. Unrelated. He's said to be a real donghead. Unrelated. He's said to be a real donghead. That seems to be the standard takeaway from when I met Michael Jordan. Celebrity encounter. Grocery stores move shit around all the time to keep you in the store longer. Not the basics like eggs, bread, and milk. The weird stuff like chia seeds, lemon juice, and tartar sauce. This isn't a conspiracy, it's true. Even Costco does it. It's to get you to see more items in the store and is proven to make you spend more. Multiple times I have been on Tinder and seen someone and said to myself, holy shit, death swiping right, only to be greeted with the "you are out of likes" screen. I just wait till the morning though. They're still the first ones on there. Seems like it has happened way too often to me though. They put a person who is frequently right swiped on, attractive, as the one right when you are out of likes to motivate people into buying more. They also front stack people who you matched with when you haven't used it in a while to give you a successful feeling, making you swipe more, using up your likes. I doubt I'm the first person to come up with this, but I've long believed that the reason the US always seems to be involved in some military action is actually because the Pentagon wants to keep our military ready and trained for a more serious conflict. They want to make sure they always have combat experienced, battle-hardened veterans ready for a real war should it break out. That's not why the US gets involved, but it is well known and documented that an armed conflict every 15 years is somewhat necessary to keep soldiers experienced. So you've never heard the term military-industrial complex? The USA has been in a wartime economy since World War II. No war, economic collapse. I can't even believe you left out the part where the Undertaker threw mankind off a hell in the cell through the Spanish announcer's table. Hey, both WTC towers have asbestos. That needs to be removed. That sounds awfully expensive. Why don't I just coordinate a terrorist attack where 4 planes are hijacked and 2 of them hit both towers? One hits the Pentagon, and 1 crashes in a field. Hopefully the towers will completely collapse as well. Yup, that should do it. Now I won't have to pay to remove the asbestos.
This is a fact. This is a fact. This is a fact. I believe all of this.
Instead, I'll just fake a terrorist attack and kill 3,000 Americans. Pockets in women's clothing are designed to be small or non-existent so the fashion industry can sell women purses. The sun is actually the center of the solar system, not the earth. The church doesn't want you to know the truth. I firmly believe.
Bro, what? What does that got to do with the church? What?
And will never be dissuaded on this, that NBA Commissioner David Stern colluded in 1985 to ensure the New York Knicks would end up with a #1 overall pick in the draft. thus ensuring them the services of Patrick Ewing. This is what gave birth to the concept of the frozen envelope theory. Supposedly the envelope containing the name of the New York Knicks was placed in a refrigerator just prior to the draft, and thus allowed Stern to make sure the Knicks, arguably their biggest and most important market, got the top pick in that draft. I love NBA conspiracy theories, even the ones today. Up above there is a comment on how Paul Pierce crapped his pants. I believe it. The reason Eazy-E died of AIDS is because Suge Knight murdered him, hired someone to inject AIDS-infected blood into his system. Suge even alluded to it on Jimmy Fallon's talk show. So how many deaths is Suge Knight responsible for? Isn't he blamed for both Biggie and Tupac's deaths? He definitely put a hit on Biggie, but Puffy was the one that put a hit on Pac. Biggie was just retaliation. The death of Dr. David Kelly. No way was it suicide, and Tony Blair has blood on his hands over it. My dad swears.
Wait, let's rewind. He killed all them? I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Suge Knight. I don't know.
He cured his cancer with weed. He made some kind of oil in the backyard and ate it for a few months, and no cancer, no radiation, no chemo. He ate a ton of that stuff. He was high as hell. He calls it Rick Simpson oil. He had hairy cell leukemia from Agent Orange that turned into lymphoma after about 15 years. I'm just glad I have my dad. I don't care how Wyatt worked. Not so much a conspiracy theory, more like a prediction of the future. Anything I do or post on the internet might one day be used against me, especially if I become a more prominent public figure or important person. Someone can and will one day know too much about you. Elite pedophile rings. Example, the Detroit affair. I made a huge Today I Learned post about this and it got 33k upvotes. A retired police officer found Cyril Smith, British MP with 144 accusations of child molestation and abuse, in a home with a sex offender and 2 drunk teenage boys. He was threatened to be prosecuted under the Official Secrets Act. Nothing happened. Moreover, there were tons of other instances of child abuse that happened in the late 70s or late 80s in Elm's House in London because Smith was part of a massive paedophilic network that consisted of MPs and government ministers. Everything they did was covered up and every officer which tried investigating was threatened with the Official Secrets Act. They were even tied to the murder of an Indian boy in the 80s who was completely mutilated. Almost all of the investigation files regarding Cyril Smith were destroyed by the Metropolitan Police. In effect, a dossier of all the members in Parliament and top bankers and government officials was drafted by a Conservative MP, Geoffrey Dongens, which was later lost. Margaret Thatcher later explicitly prevented one of these politicians, Peter Heyman, a top-level British diplomat, in this suspected ring from being investigated.
This is disgusting, and I believe it all. I know, like people, I'm telling you, I know about the people and the babies and the child trafficking and the human. I know about it all, bro. And they do, and they cover it up. Like that's the crazy thing.
Even though a 33-page document by the Director of Public Prosecutions showed he had pedophilic material, when David Cameron back in 2014 paneled a board to investigate it, the first 2 heads of the board were fired. They officially resigned, and then the third one was rehired because they had to disband the panel to make another one. Insane. This ring didn't just die in the 80s in Britain, it still exists today. Multiple cartels are operating in the US, and they are a big part of why the average working person is struggling so much there. By cartel, I don't mean a drug smuggling group. I'm talking about a group of legal businesses and corporations who work together to keep prices high and costs low while pretending to compete with one another. Cases in point, telecom providers. It's well known that there's a literal agreement between Time Warner and Comcast that they won't compete with one another, that each has their sphere of interest and they won't move into the other sphere. This has the effect of stifling infrastructure investment and keeping prices high. Healthcare costs are another cartel situation.
Literally,
Voter suppression
hospitals are freaking scamming people, and that's a fact.
Efforts by the Republican Party. There's no real problem with in-person voter fraud in the US. There's maybe a dozen cases of it, out of millions of people, but Republicans are pretending there is a problem so that they can suppress their opponents' voting rights. I don't know if I believe it's entirely true, but I feel like there may be some truth to the conspiracy that says Elvis befriended President Nixon to get the government to help him fake his death so he could live out the rest of his life as a not famous person. It's at least somewhat plausible. But who is going to fake their death as he died on the toilet pushing too hard? Question mark? When you're like,
wait, is that how Elvis died? I gotta Google it. How did they know I was about to search that? How did they know? How did they know I was about to search that? I just typed in oh, the computer listening. I'm telling y'all, bro, this stuff is real, bro. This stuff is real. How did he die? Okay. It's not to mention how did average president die? Bathroom floor in the home. Yeah, I guess he did die. To the I was in the due to maybe he did die from pooping too hard. I don't know. But did y'all see how I typed in how did? It could have been anything else, and it said how did Elvis, and it was the first one. It could have been Michael Jackson was the first one. Elvis was the computer is literally listening to me. This got to be this live in action. Come on, bro.
Throw in a bit of self-embarrassing info makes it more believable that the McCanns were actively involved with the disappearance and or death of their daughter Madeline. That op is conspiring to make me read all these posts and believe the 9/11 and JFK theories. Khloe Kardashian's actual father is O.J. Simpson and nothing is going to convince me otherwise. The chemicals in the water turning the friggin' frogs gay. Simulated reality. Spiders have 8 eyes because they are actually self-replicating webcams that locate and move to corners where using silk wires they build a structure which they can use to trap small animals for food and also as an antenna they can use like a string instrument to send data to their network. What? That's just science right there. Elliott Smith didn't kill himself. Yeah, he sang sad songs, but he was recording a new album and had just invited a new producer to help him work on it. And no one stabs themselves in the chest twice. IDK who did it, but he didn't do it himself. Not saying you're wrong, but lots of people stab themselves multiple times during a suicide attempt. They're called hesitation wounds. For example, Artie Lange stabbed himself 9 times with a chef's knife and fortunately survived. Again, not saying anything about a yes. Darth Jar Jar. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a duck.
Man, that's the end of the video. Y'all let me know which ones that y'all believe. I believe almost all of them. I don't know about the Beyonce one. I don't like the 2 years, additional 2 year. I don't get that one. Like, what's the point of that one? But did y'all see what the heck happened? My conspiracy theory is that they always listening. All I did was type in how did, and it popped up the first one. How did Elvis how did Elvis die? It could have been like, how did Elvis make his money? How did Elvis become famous? But it was, how did Elvis die? Like, the first one. They're listening. I don't know who they are, but I'm telling you, bro. Oh, the conspiracy theories, all of them is correct. This whole video was just spitting facts. It was not spitting conspiracy theories. It was spitting facts. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Drop some conspiracy theories that y'all think is true in the comments down below. They could be as off the wall as you think. Trust me, I know. I'm not gonna think you weird. I know. Trust me, I'm being dead for real. Y'all gonna think I'm playing around, but I'm being dead for real. Like, I know, bro. I know all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So drop it in the comments. I'm gonna see if I agree with you on all of them and if I already knew all of them or if you put me on game to some new ones. But that's the end of the video. Y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed it. Smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the post-notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop these bangers. And that's about it. I'm gonna see y'all out.
Hey yo, C3 so fly, hop out the butterfly. Wings to the sky, no I'm never borderline. They choose I, cause I'm way above you. The waves make the haters love you when the ladies come through.